How's everybody doing today? Good. Okay. Lately in class we've been discussing insufficient justification and cognitive dissonance. Excuse me. And today I'm going to show you a clip that illustrates this concept done by experimenter Jonathan Freedman.
The following is a 1965 experiment conducted by Jonathan Freedman to explore the long-term effects of cognitive dissonance. The sample consisted of 89 second to fourth graders who were asked to rate their approval of several toys. I'd like you to rate each of these toys from 0, which is a very, very bad toy, to 100, which is a very, very good toy. Okay?
Okay.
So you understand?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Now let's start with this car.
10.
Okay. And how about this banana?
20.
Okay. And the rock here?
1.
Okay. How about this robot?
100.
Okay. And this car?
30.
30. Good. All right. Raquel, I have to leave the room for about 10 minutes. While I'm gone, you can play with any of the toys if you want, okay? You can play with any of them except the robot, okay? Can't play with the robot. Do not play with the robot. It is wrong to play with the robot. If you play with the robot, I'll be very angry, and we'll have to do something about it. You understand?
Yes.
All right. The robot was rated highest by every child. In one condition, the experimenter provided subjects with a high threat. These children typically ignored the threat and played with the robot.
$10, sir.
Okay. How about this robot?
100.
Okay. And this car?
45.
45. Okay. Now, Jackie, I have to leave this room for about 10 minutes. While I'm gone, you can play with any of the toys you want. You can play with any of them except the robot, okay? Do not play with the robot. It is wrong to play with the robot. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. In a low threat condition, the experimenter provided a less severe threat. These subjects resisted playing with the robot. Upon the experimenter's return, the subjects were asked to rate the toys again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'd like you to rate these toys again because sometimes ratings change. So you should rate the toys as you feel about them now, not necessarily how you felt before. Okay?
Okay.
Do you remember the system of rating?
Uh-huh.
All right. So how would you rate this banana?
20.
Okay. How about this car?
14.
15. How about this rock?
100.
Okay. How would you rate this car?
36.
6. And how about the robot?
24.
All right. Ratings in the high threat condition did not change, but subjects experiencing the low threat rated the robot lower than they had initially. This demonstrates that providing insufficient justification for avoiding the robot created cognitive dissonance, which resulted in subjects avoiding the robot and lowering its rating. To explore the long-term effects of cognitive dissonance, a second session of the experiment was arranged to appear unrelated to the first. The interval between sessions ranged from 23 to 64 days. A female conducted the second session in order to appear less threatening, administering an unrelated test.
Hi Raquel. How are you?
Good.
Okay. I'd like you to take a seat.
Okay.
I'd like for you to copy some drawings, and when you are finished, I'd like to score them. And while I'm scoring them, you can play with any of the toys in the room. Okay?
Done.
Oh, good job. Okay, you can go play with any toy that you'd like.
Okay.
Subjects from the high threat condition generally continued to display high interest in the robot. However, subjects from the low threat condition apparently persisted in their justification and typically avoided the robot. This study was conducted to investigate whether or not the arousal of cognitive dissonance can produce long-term behavioral effects. Any dissonance that is aroused may be reduced either by decreasing the desire to play with the toy or by increasing the justification for not playing with it. The results supported this prediction.
Really interesting. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
See, my question is, I don't understand why the child that has the mild punishment did not play with the toy after the punishment was not there. Like, it doesn't make sense in my head why the child would not play when there's no punishment.
Does anyone have any idea or would like to chime in? Jackie?
Well, I don't think the child had enough reason on its own, since it wasn't given a good enough punishment. So it justified itself in its head, saying it didn't want to play with it.
Yeah.
Would that be kind of the same thing, like an experiment that you explained before the experiment about the experiments being told to lie and they're given either $1 or $20, and then the ones that were only given $1, they justified the lying and they actually thought the experiment was better?
Exactly. The experiment we did with the $20 and the $1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the ones that received $1 felt like, well, why would I lie if I didn't really believe it? So what they did was
And they thought
begin
it
to
was
believe it.
actually better.
Just like with the child, it was like, well, why wouldn't I play with it if there really isn't if there isn't a severe punishment? And later on in the second session, like when they were allowed to play with it, in their heads it was just kind of like, well, that toy isn't good enough anymore. So they kind of justified it to themselves internally.
Okay, makes sense.
Good. All right, now that we're done with this clip, I have a new e-journal diary entry.